Well, today I've got with me Gavin Felton, who is chairman of the newly formed, in fact 1 year old this week, the Democrats and Veterans Party. Welcome, Gavin.
Thank you for inviting us, Janice.
Okay. Tell me a bit about the Dems and Vets, as I'll call them, what your aims are and why you're in London today.
I mean, our main aim is direct democracy. The Italians are ahead of the game here. The Italians obviously proved that with direct democracy. It resonates with the voters. We've obviously proved that ourselves. You know, we've had 28% and 27% in two by-elections recently where we've never stood, no one's heard of us, and within 3.5 weeks we've got 28% and 27%. And that's because the structure we put in place for campaigning is different from most mainstream parties. Certainly in the UK, it's because we looked at the Republican Party, in particular in America, what they do. We looked at the Labour Party machine and the machine, that what they use, and the Liberal Democrats on local issues.
Yeah.
So we sort of put all that together to come up with our concept, our structure on how to campaign. So everything is coordinated and planned. It's not just put together at the last minute.
And are they just your membership? It's not just veterans, it's actually the families and supportive people?
We have people that aren't party members that help.
So what's attracting them to your party?
The main single, there's two thrusts to it. One is obviously Brexit, and you know the democratic direct democracy vote that we had, because that was direct democracy in its purest form.
Yeah.
That 17.4 million have heard, and ultimately the veterans' issues, because the veterans, you know, I'm one, my father's one, my brothers are, and indeed my wife are, is we are, there's a massive difference between us and the veterans around the world and how they're viewed. So if you went to America, for example...
Well, fantastic veterans associations, very much supported by the government.
And one of the CEO of the Allied Forces Foundation over in Washington, Stuart, who's a very close friend of mine. We've known each other for many, many years, so we're sort of...
So you're linking up with others around the world?
Yeah, 100%, around the world.
Yeah.
And admittedly, politically, the like sort of mindset. You know, we believe in people should be able to live their lives how they wish, according to the law, without a sort of a police state culture.
Yeah, because you've been a lot, the freedom marches that I've been to as well, so freedom of speech, which is being curtailed.
You know, people have fought and died for the freedoms we enjoy.
I know.
And we shouldn't give those freedoms up just because a political elite in Westminster demand that we do.
What are the biggest issues that are facing vets in our country?
Oh, where do you start? I mean, I think the initial mistake is made by the MOD, and is when someone's going to leave the army, they go to a resettlement officer. And that resettlement officer is someone that's still serving. So they've never been in the civilian world. They haven't seen the troubles that you face, i.e., you know, paying bills. Because a lot of military don't pay the bills because it comes out their salary automatically.
Because they haven't managed their lives.
Yeah, they haven't managed their lives. In a certain extent, they've been managed for them. That's the initial mistake. The other mistakes are, vets come back and the military covenant says vets should be given priority. Well, that word "should" is meaningless. What does the word "should" mean? You know, I should be 6 foot, Janice, and I'm 5'7". You know, it's meaningless. So that should say "must". So it puts pressures on the councils that they should house veterans that come back. You know, we've had veterans from around the Commonwealth. You know, Fijians, Ghanaians, South Africans that have sadly paid the ultimate price, and they're finding it struggle to stay in the country. And then you read stories that people are getting given passports, and then it's the whole system's is acting against veterans in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but we've got a Conservative Party in power at the moment. They're supposed to be the party of law and order. And do you think out of all the parties that are in Westminster, it would be the Conservative Party that would look after our vets?
Yeah.
How's Gavin Williamson doing?
Gavin Williamson, if I could be blunt, he's a career politician. He will do what he thinks best to further his career. And he has proven it and demonstrated on numerous occasions. He's come out with some crazy ideas, Coca-Cola vans and all sorts. And he's not a military man whatsoever.
Do you think it's important it's a military man or woman that's in the post?
I think to the soldiers and the sailors and the Marines and the airmen on the ground, it is.
It's important.
It's important because you have that mutual respect. So when someone's speaking to you, you know, you've got that sort of connection straight away. You know they've been for the same stuff. And the Tories have got numerous people that they could do a better job in Gavin Williamson. I mean, I could probably name 6 off the top of my head.
I've
now.
got friends who are serving MPs that are
I mean, one MP
vets.
springs to mind. He's outspoken. He says things sometimes that people don't want to hear. Does that make him?
Who's that?
I would say Johnny Mercer.
Johnny Mercer, good man.
I mean, I'm not, I've never met Johnny. I mean, Johnny is commander like myself.
But he speaks from a point of common sense and understanding of what it's like to be a veteran.
And, I mean, he's another one. He was a Remainer. He was
Yes,
the
I know.
only. So I'm not saying it because he's a Brexiteer.
But he would look after your
100%.
people.
So-
And about the housing, do you think the Tories have tried to say that the vets will get priority for housing? Do you think that will actually happen, or is it just another soundbite?
Their sound bites are on deaf ears now because, words are cheap. Actions speak louder than words. It's a good saying, it's a true saying. And, it all boils down to the military covenant. That word should, get rid of it, it must. Because councils are acting in different ways, which is fine. But you can go to a better council and then...
It's just what you're saying, it's inconsistent.
It's completely inconsistent.
Well, it's something that Rebel is certainly going to be involved in. Campaigns for our military, and if we can help you on the doorsteps, we certainly will.
The other one big issue that people don't like to talk about, where military are concerned, is PTSD
Yes.
and the effects that's having.
Yeah. Post-traumatic stress disorder.
And, there's people out there that are fighting the cause. They're working so hard right up and down the country, and some of the stories are horrific. I mean, we've had 7. I mean, I could be out of date today, but in this year, in 2019, we've had 7 suicides.
I know. I've looked at the stats on suicide. I think in was it last year, and again, I'm quoting off the top of my head, about 63.
Yeah.
63 to 82.
I mean, one of my friends sadly lost his life last year, and so that sort of brought it home to me more than it perhaps it should have done before. But obviously, when someone commits suicide, then it sort of becomes even more real.
More and more personal.
And we in Barnsley we've got a guy called Sapper Ken. He puts across every time Saturday this happens outside his house, and he's trying to get a movement together now to highlight it. In Barnsley we've got a cross sadly is laid up in Montbretton in Barnsley every time a suicide's happened.
Well, I'm going to stop you there. It's fantastic what you're doing. Keep it up, and I'm certainly going to be working with you to get the issue out there. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.